everybody. I'm here today to show you the rules for quotation marks. And I won't play the video for you. You know how to put these files together. So again, if you haven't already cut those out, go ahead and do that. And they'll go together just like your other files have done. So it looks like there are 5 of these rules. This should go pretty quickly. But let's take a look at the first one. This is about direct quotations. And we've already touched on this with capital letters and with commas, but I wanted to officially put it in your quotation file so that if you review these, you'll have the rules there that need to be there. So first of all, let me define a direct quotation for you. And this is something that's a little bit tricky until you get the hang of it. A direct quotation are the exact words, so verbatim, the exact words that someone says. And when I used to teach this to students who had never worked with quotations before, I would always have them to draw a stick figure because I simply cannot draw, and I'm going to call him John. So this is John. And then I would have them to draw one of those speech bubbles that you see in the cartoons or wherever you might see them. And in there, we would just make up a sentence or state a sentence it needs to be. So I'm going to say my car is blue. So John is saying my car is blue. And here is the rule for writing a direct quotation. You will use quotation marks around a direct quotation. So here's how this one would look. John said, so there's your subject and verb. John said. We will put a comma. We covered that in the comma rules. And then you open the quotation. So the quotation marks open up. These always come in pairs and they always come in sets. So what did John say? John said, my car is blue. Full stop, and close the quotation marks. Okay. So let me give you another example. Let's draw another stick figure and let's call him Sam. And here's Sam's speech bubble. And guys, I can't draw. I know. Where did you buy it? Okay, so this one might look like this, and I'm going to reverse the order this time. So this time I'm going to open with the quote. You capitalize the first letter. That's very important. And we covered that with capital letters, but it's worth reviewing. Where did you buy it? Question mark. So there's your direct quote. Asked Sam. So the words that are in the speech bubbles go in the quotation marks, and that is a direct quotation. If you are planning to go to college, you need to learn that you never make direct quotations without citing the source. Even on your high set essay, if you are taking direct quotations from the passages that you have to read, you want to make sure that you tell the source of those quotes. To quote someone without citing a source like that is called plagiarism, and it's not a good thing if you're in college. So always, if you make a direct quotation, tell the source of that quotation. Tell the reader who said the quote. Okay, the next rule. What do you do if a quotation, a direct quotation, is interrupted? And let me give you an example using the stick man again. So let's make another person here and another speech bubble. So this is where my direct quote is going to go. And let me think of one. Let's say tomorrow's, sorry guys, I can't spell today. Tomorrow's game at the park is at noon. And this time I'm going to call her Mary. Okay, so I've just given you really a quote that makes no sense on its own, but it'll work for what we need. So I could say, Mary said tomorrow's game at the park is at noon. That's one way to say it. But let me show you what an interrupted quote looks like. And I'm going to come down here. Tomorrow's game, and I'm doing it again. Tomorrow's game let's leave the modifier with it. Tomorrow's game at the park said Mary. And then I'm going to finish the rest of that quote. So we open those quotes again, but you don't capitalize that one. Is at noon. I personally do not like these. To me, that's very awkward. It just sounds better not to break the quote up. Now, there are times that you have to break the quote. If it's very long, you really may not have an option. So, personally, I don't like these, but that doesn't matter. You still have to know how to punctuate them. So let me highlight some things for you. Just call your attention to some things. First of all, you have two sections of quote, so you need two sets of quotation marks. Notice the commas that separate the speaker from the quotation itself, and the punctuation is inside the quotation marks. So those are just some things to be careful of when you write a quote. Just make sure that you have the quotation marks around the quote itself and that punctuation is inside the quotation. Commas around the speaker. Okay, let me get, I'm jumping around here. I'm sorry. With commas, again, you want to use a comma. I think I got out of order. I'm so sorry. Use a comma or commas if you have an interrupted quote to separate the quotation from the speaker. don't want to let that run together. So for example, Anna said, comma, open the quote, I am making dinner. Full stop, close quotes. So you are separating your your speaker, Anna said, from the quote itself. So you need a comma in that spot. If you write the quote the other way, I am making dinner, comma, said Anna. Now consider this example. Are you hungry? She asked. No comma there because you have the punctuation mark that is taking the place of that comma. Also, if that were to be an exclamation point, you would not need to put your comma. Okay, I'm going to stop this video and I'll come back and get the next one that will be about titles. So I'll see you in the next clip.